Morning all, welcome to Diary of a Herbert. This is part 2 of the engine work we're having done. So unfortunately I wasn't here, but Paul Redshaw came over an hour or so ago and removed the heads. So he's now got those, he's taken those back to his workshop to have a look at the exhaust valves and the inlet valves, make sure they're okay. If necessary, renew the valve guide on the exhaust valve that is possibly blowing by. However, he did say that it looks, fingers crossed, that it might just be a simple case of lapping the valve in again. So as long as everything's in tolerance, hopefully just re-lapping the valve, so re-grinding it so it makes a good sealing surface against the valve seat, should all be perfect. And then I should have new heads, or not new heads, but refurbished heads, and the whole engine can go back together again tomorrow, believe it or not. Chuffed to bits. I thought it was going to be a couple of weeks' work, but if everything's okay, this thing will be back together tomorrow. So let's show you the inside of the engine. So this is the inside of a Russell Newbery DM2 4-stroke diesel, 2.6 litres, 2 cylinders. As you can see, the pistons are a fair old size. Imagine that bouncing up and down at 950 RPM. It's a fair bit of mass to shift about. And down here, this copper gasket you can see, this is what seals, makes the gas tight seal between the head and the cylinder. Most diesels would have this entire mating surface with a cylinder gasket, a head gasket, to seal the cylinders, but on the Russell Newberys they just have this tiny little copper gasket, and that's all there is to it. These holes around the circumference of the cylinders are for the coolant, and there's a little rubber washer or grommet with a copper liner to stop it collapsing, that seals the water passages between the head and the block. And then here, these are the holes for the push rods which operate the valve gear, and that's also the return drain for the oil once it's done its work lubricating the valve gear up the top end of the engine. So yeah, that's the bottom half of the lump. These are the two fuel injectors. And while Paul was taking the heads off the engine, he's told me since, he had a bit of a giggle to himself because although the engine is only 7 years old, these injectors apparently could be almost 60 years old. The engine was designed in 1928, so these are probably new old stock that have been sat around in a box somewhere for heaven knows how long. The other thing that made him smile apparently is that they're not even the same make. The one on the left, this one, hopefully if you can see there, is a Bosch. The one on the right, I can't quite see it, hang on. If you look at the top just above the serial number, it's a CAV. So it's not even a matched pair of injectors, but it works, so I'm a happy bunny. So that's today's update on the status of the engine. Unfortunately it's a short video. I wasn't here to be able to capture Paul taking the heads off. From what I understand, they were a bit of a beggar to get off, and took a bit of grunting and manly words, shall we say. So yeah, hopefully with a bit of luck the heads will be back tomorrow, which is amazing, as long as they're okay, as long as those valves aren't too bad, and we can start putting it all back together and then press the big black button once again, and hopefully everything will work. So take care, look after yourselves. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you like, please feel free to subscribe, click the like button and tell your friends. All the best, take care, and I'll see you soon.